Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday, August the 5th, 2025. How's everyone doing out there? Good? That's good. Now, apologize for missing last week. I was just burnt out, and I was not ready to go last week. So that's why you heard some type of archive, they played, and hopefully it was for the best. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, including the Micah news. As you heard on Friday, he wants to trade. He wants out of Dallas. He said it in a lengthy Instagram post. But first, let me start with this foolishness that we have that's happened over the last week or so. I don't even know where to start. I can go with Gilbert Arenas, or I can go with Shannon Sharpe. I can start with Shannon Sharpe first. Okay. So, Shannon Sharpe last week got fired by ESPN. Okay. Now, you can't make this up. You paid the girl $50 million to shut up, right? Oh yeah, let's pay her. Let's pay her so that I can get my job back. That's basically what he did. You were thinking that, okay, the NFL season's about to start. I'm about to be on TV soon, so let's pay the girl and let me get back on TV. ESPN said, nope, not so fast. We're gonna get rid of you. We want a clean slate. Was it really worth it, Shannon? Was it really worth it? But then again, this happened. So let's play a clip from Shannon Sharpe, please.
Obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this, I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support.
Now, Shannon, excuse me, you don't make those decisions. ESPN felt it was right, because you got to understand, they got to prepare for the NFL season as well. They got to get their rosters together to say, you know what, this is our solid NFL roster. We got guys and girls coming in in our studio every single day talking about the NFL football and college football in its entirety. We don't have time for this nonsense. You can't tell ESPN what to do. First of all, it's a corporation, it's a business. At the end of the day, they didn't take the moment away from your brother. You did. You took the moment away from your brother. You put yourself in this position. And I love Shannon Sharpe. I grew accustomed to it. I mean, I love him. You know, he's a role model to me. But sometimes role models fail you. And Shannon failed me. Why can't you just leave her alone? You said in April or whatever that thing came down, you said that this never happened. This was a shakedown. This never happened. But yet you went ahead and paid the girl $50 million. The girl comes out and says, "Oh, I'm going to retire from OnlyFans." And I'm like, what is the point? What is the point? Do you really think you can get away with it? I'm very upset at him because I'm like, you didn't learn anything. You didn't learn anything from your mistake. This was a huge mistake that cost you a career at ESPN, the biggest network in the world. You cost yourself this opportunity. You didn't mutually agree to part ways. They fired your ass. They did. And I'm glad that you still have your shows and all that stuff. Yes, well deserved. But it was you that overshadowed this. It was you that put your brother out of the main focus. They don't have to wait till Monday. They wanted to do it now because, like I said, they have a roster to fill. They have obligations to fulfill as well, and they're trying to fulfill those obligations. So should you. So I love you to death, but it's just you didn't learn anything because you're still going to do your show. You're still going to, not talk about it. You didn't learn anything. You paid the girl, and now the girl is $50 million richer, and now she doesn't have to work, doesn't have to like drive to work, doesn't have to, work for her money for the rest of her life because of all this crap you did. You're the one that took your brother's focus away. You're the one that went ahead and lied and said, you know what, we didn't do that. We didn't have sex. You did. You just paid her. You let this lawyer get in your head, and he successfully did it. So I tell men, well, if there's any men in this world today, don't ever put yourself in that situation. Because I would never believe you if you're ever in that situation ever again. And I was telling myself this morning, I said, I'm not going to give you a pass as of Bill Belichick. I'm not giving him a pass. I wish North Carolina the worst season ever because of this crap, because of what he has going on. And I hate to say that. I'm not a North Carolina fan, but I can say that. I can say those things. But because I don't care, but I don't care what they have going on. Well, I will speak to more on that in a second. Now, Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert. But first things first, let's hear from Gilbert Arenas, please.
But yeah, baby, I'm on them. I'm out. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, they took my passport. Hey, like, damn, my passport? That's crazy, because I got another one, but you gotta have two. That was it. Yeah, I think I'm dumb. Woo, man, I'm just trying to tell you, don't get arrested and you gotta use the restroom, man. I'm just trying to tell you, they don't treat you right. Now, but everybody was in there nice. Like, what was crazy is the nigga who arrested me, I played the nigga in basketball. he went to high school. I played him in high school, man. Oh, hey, what's up, G8? Hey, nothing, man. How you doing, Fred? I see you still get in trouble. Yeah, you know what it is. Stop being that serious.
So you heard from full Gilbert Arenas. This guy's an idiot. This guy is a flat out idiot. You got arrested for illegal gambling, but still, you know, I know I was told that somebody was upset that they didn't get their money. I don't really know these things. I don't gamble a lot. But I know this for sure. I know that being in that orange jumpsuit, being arrested at any age is not fun. Gilbert, you need to stop laughing, man. This is not no laughing matter. You can spend decades in prison for this. A mistake that costs you your career, everything that you own, everything that you were fighting for, you have right now. But this man goes on live and laughs about it. And I'm like, dude, many people get arrested for murder and other stuff every single day. You hear it in the news. Like, this is why under the age of 30, the reason why these guys are struggling, guys or girls are struggling, because they're not struggling, but they get arrested because the foolishness that they do. It's not fun getting arrested. It's not fun having that, being in the jail cell, being fingerprinted, doing all that stuff. Stop laughing. Be a role model. Your son is about to go to he's actually going to USC. Your son almost died in a car accident a few months back. Your son now has a knee injury and could be out for the rest of this coming season. Be there for him instead of yourself. Stop laughing. There's no jokey matter. You think you can get off easy? Like I said, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I don't know the case. I just saw illegal gambling. I saw him get arrested. And I'm like, okay, I don't know this illegal gambling nonsense. I don't even gamble, period. I never did, and I never will. But when I see guys of that high caliber get arrested, and they laugh about it, it bothers me. Do you remember 2009 with Javaris Critton, that investigation? Someone got shot over a card game. You lost a card game in the locker room. Unfortunately, it cost someone else's life. And now that person, Javaris Critton, is doing decades long in prison because of your foolishness, Gilbert. And he was the one that he did his crime as well. I know. I seen Javaris Critton. Javaris was terrible, a terrible human being, but a decent basketball player. Do you not learn your lesson with that card game in 2009? This is why the Washington Wizards were an after joke. They were a joke. They still are today. Not because of that situation, because there's other things pertaining to that. But Gilbert, did you not learn your lesson in 2009? We gotta stop laughing at these fools. And I saw also Marcus Morris got arrested as well for what was it? I can't remember what he did. Oh, he wrote a bad check. So all those three guys, Marcus Morris, Gilbert Arenas, Shannon Sharpe, they were all on first take this past season during NBA playoffs and finals coverage. They were there, and it's like I can't really blame it on Stephen A. Stephen A. never got Shannon Sharpe fired. Stephen A. never got Gilbert Arenas nor Marcus Morris arrested, nor he associated with them. I don't like when people put them in the same light. Because Stephen A. is over here doing his own business, talking about whatever he wants to talk about, along with other things with the Epstein files and Michelle Obama calling him out, and there's a bunch of other things that's going on in the world. A lot of things that he has to deal with versus Shannon and Gilbert and Marcus. All those guys got their own issues got to deal with, and Shannon and Stephen A. cannot fix their issues for them. Nor does he not want to. He doesn't want to. He's got a job just like everybody else does to do on a daily basis. So we got to get these men, they got to get their shit right. They got to get it right. People say Shannon Sharpe can go to CBS or they can go back to Fox or they can do a podcast with Skip. There's no sports station out there. There is none. Fox and ESPN are the two of the biggest companies. They're trying to clean house, which is why Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Otto and others were fired 2 weeks ago. Because they're trying to clean house for the NFL season. A little bit too late. They should have done it in the NBA Finals. They should have done it then. So that now they'll find their core to go with. And as of 12:55 on August the 5th, they still haven't found their crew that they want to do the 6 a.m. or the 9 a.m., whatever shit slots they can do. But they got to get right, and I hope they do. I hope Gilbert Sharpe's laughing at this and takes it seriously because he can spend at least the rest of his life in prison over something that could have been avoided. I don't really know about Marcus Morris' situation. I know that writing a bad check is not that good. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he should stay away from the casinos. Shannon Sharpe's situation. The bro's going to still do his thing. He's still going to, do his podcast every single night, interview celebrities. I'll probably still watch it, but then again, I'm still upset at him. But I remember his brother say, I listened to his whole entire Hall of Fame speech, and I heard it. I hear his brother Sterling, and I said, okay. He said, follow before you lead. That goes for everybody. Follow before you lead. So I'm speaking for me for now. If I'm trying to get to 200, no, not 200. If I'm going to get to monetization, which I will, I got to follow this process. I got to follow what this man's giving me. I got to follow what Sammy's giving me. I got to follow what others have given me as well. That's why I put the money down to go and follow them because I have to follow because their technique has worked. I can't lead because if I lead, then I'm a failure. I fail. I don't know what to do. I start giving up. I gotta follow before you lead. That's the words of Sterling Sharpe. We all gotta do that. So whatever mentor Shannon or Marcus or Gilbert has, reach out to them right now because right now it can get ugly. So And I hope it doesn't, though. I hope that everybody, gets back to. I hope Gilbert is still doing. Marcus is still doing basketball. I hope Marcus is still playing basketball for a team. I hope Gilbert does his podcast. I hope Shannon does his podcast on the NFL as well. I'll still tune in, like I said, and so I'm not too mad about. I am mad at him, but I just can't deal with that right now. But I will come around and do all that stuff. Now let's get to the Cowboys. We are not at training camp. I'm pretty sure the guys are having fun out there. The Cowboys training camp. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of bad things. We're going to start with the good first. So the good is that the coach has been talking a lot. The coach talks like a politician, and that's not good. It's good one day, and then the next day is not. Brian Shaw has done more talking than doing. Okay, so the coach wants 40 takeaways in 2025. Okay, fine. Keelan Hall has done a great job, going after the football. Coach wants effort every 2 hours. According to his press conference, he wants effort every 2 hours. Joe Milton Jr. Oh my gosh, he's not the next Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Um, but but does but can he provide something? That's the question. Respect the standard is the motto that we gotta follow every single day. Uh, the duo of Pickens and Lamb will be epic. I know those guys have been balling out in practice lately. I can't wait till it transpires to week one because week one they'll be smoking Marshawn Lattimore and who's the cornerback for the Eagles? It doesn't even really matter because they'll be smoked. The excitement is infectious. Pickens makes contested catches, which I love. Um, let's see what else. What else good can we talk about? Compete every day. That's Coach Shotty's words. Respect the standard and compete every day. That is his standards, and we gotta follow those standards every single day. And not towards the players, but as fans as well. The ceiling for Trayshawn Holden and John Kelly, Josh Kelly, sorry. What's their ceiling? The ceiling would be the first preseason game. Let's see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure they'll get majority of the reps. The running back room, Jaden Blue or Phil Maffa. I know Phil Maffa's a long shot to make this team, but Jaden Blue, I think he's a starter week one, I would say. No mention of the coach's son. This is Deuce Vaughn. Uh, could he be on the way out? We'll see. Uh, Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. I mean, those guys were signings, but the question is, can we keep three running backs on the roster? Because at least two of them have starting experience, and then one of them is on the rise, which is Jaden Brew is on the rise, and then Lionel Collins gets signed. So Lionel Collins goes back to the Cowboys, and he has promised Dak's children that he will protect Dak at all costs. So, so Dak will be protected at all costs. Now we get to the drama of Micah Parsons. Micah and analysts out there. Micah, what are you doing? You went online and wrote a long Instagram post, which I agree with. I agree with you. I understand you want your money. I get that you tried everything you can. You tried it last year. Jerry wasn't listening. You got to remember where Jerry's mind is. Jerry is an 80-year-old man. Jerry does not care about the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry does not care about the play on the field. He fakes. He acts like he's upset, but he's not. He don't care. If he would cared, then he would sign Micah a year ago instead of now. Why we gotta wait August the 5th for this shit to happen? Or even August the 1st for your star player to ask for a trade? This is embarrassing. Pay him. We're seeing Myles Garrett get paid, and Myles Garrett wants out of Cleveland. Myles Garrett said, I don't want to win a championship in Cleveland. I want to stay where the money's at, which is the Browns. The Browns are not winning anything. They don't even have a quarterback. The Steelers are not winning anything because Mike Tomlin is confused as a goat. And I say that respectfully, Mike. I love you, but you're confused. Like, then they went ahead and paid TJ Watt. So what does Micah want? Micah wants the same contract that what's his name? Myles Garrett got. Would that help you, Micah? Would that help you, Jerry? Jerry is an 80-year-old man. Why does the media bother him with these questions every single day? And now the coach is coming in and trying to deflect the questions. Like, Coach, your job is not to deflect the questions. Your star linebacker has not practiced since last week because of a fucking contract. Like, help it make sense. What is Micah? Well, whatever Micah wants, he'll get. Let him get the contract. Stop messing around with our emotions. This is not. See, this is why Jerry is not. This is business. This is business. This is playing around over a championship. The Dallas Cowboys are an absolute joke over a championship. What's the point of getting a ring when the circus is more important at Jerry's World? The circus is more important in Frisco than paying players that mean a lot to your team, that can easily just get up and walk. Micah can walk, so he can go walk to the Patriots or Philly. He's talked about playing with Philly, the Eagles, the arch nemesis. I heard somebody say yesterday about the Commanders. I'm like, okay, if you put him on the Commanders, then I know that the relationship and Dan Quinn is there. But you take Bobby Wagner off the field, and then you immediately insert Micah Parsons, and that leaves a big hole on defense for us. It makes the Commanders better because the Commanders can put Micah Parsons at anywhere on the field. Dan Quinn knows Micah, so Dan Quinn can be like, hey, Micah, go rush the quarterback. Micah, go play cover two. He can do those things. And I'm pretty sure the man to my right would be happy. He'll be celebrating. He'll bring his trophy in this building to throw it in my face. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, oh my gosh. Let's not throw a trophy in my face, please. Thank you. So there has to be some type of compromise. There has to be some type of care. Because Jerry does not care. Jerry cares about he's selective. He cares about paying Romo versus Dak. They waited to the last week to pay Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Wasn't worth it. Okay, CeeDee Lamb got his 1,000 yards. Okay, Dak, ever since he got his new contract, the injuries start piling up. Maybe it's age. Maybe it's just Dak is not consistent enough with his workouts. But then again, Dak makes a lot of commercials talking about his health, talking about sleeping well, talking about having the dry, improving your body. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought sleeping well and improves your body. Why are you getting hurt when you're making sleep number coach commercials, Dak? I thought you'd get the best sleep ever. So, but I don't see Micah. I don't see any Micah commercials. I see him on podcasts, and there's no reiteration of of what Micah needs to do on his podcast because he already wrote a 3-page letter on it of what the process was. Your star linebacker writes this on Instagram. And one of the things that I got from Instagram is, hey, he tried to fix this last season so that it wouldn't become a problem now. Now is a problem, and now nobody in the organization wants to talk about it. This is why the Cowboys have front office issues because we're not fed with the truth. They continue to lie to us. Shoddy continues to not answer questions about Michael's situation, which you're the head coach. You have to know you have to answer your questions, whether it's okay, I'm not going to answer this question today. It's not your job, Shoddy. You got to answer every question. That's your job. That's your linebacker sitting on the sidelines, not getting any reps whatsoever. How are you going to win a championship was that sitting on your sidelines? He's on the fucking sidelines, and fans are saying, pay Micah. Pay him what he owes. I don't even know what he owes, $60 million, $70 million, whatever. Give him that. Give him that. Listen, I don't care who we sign. Hey, if this running back core does not work, okay, fine. There's another running back elsewhere. If this defensive line core does not work, hey, there's defensive tackles for days. Fine, whatever. Okay, get this shit done now. Don't make it like a Washington situation. The Washington situation is even worse. Terry McLaurin said it to y'all. He said, I want to be here. Terry said, I don't want to be nowhere else. I want to be here. But Terry, then again, I have to bring Terry to the table. Terry, do you want to be in Washington? Can you really win with JD5? No. You can't win with him. You can't. Do you really want to be there? Terry, come on now, man. There's teams out there that you can go win a championship of. The prize is, okay, we got to win a championship. Not, okay, JD5, okay, I'm a day-night quarterback. Who says that? You're a day-and-night quarterback, JD? No, you're not. No, you're not. You are in the middle of the pack quarterback, you are. But you need your top weapon. And so that situation was worse than Washington. I'm not even sure Terry will play. I'm not even sure Micah. I know for sure Micah will play because Jerry waits to the last minute to get Micah signed. And everybody will be happy. Everybody say the Cowboys have the best front office in the league, which they don't. It's just terrible, man. And that's why I said I'm always upset about these press conferences because Jerry would go on the radio and say a bunch of nonsensical stuff, and then once he says the right things, it gets played aired live. So if this drags to week 1, like most people are saying, then the question for after week's one game would be, hey, what's going on with Micah's situation? Because Micah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's missed a month of camp. If we go past week one, which is September the 4th. Now, okay, we got these foolish analysts from the Chris Sims, the Mike Florials, the CBS crew. You know, they always want to bring up our downfalls. They always want to bring up trade scenarios from Micah. They didn't do it for. I'm pretty sure they did it for Terry as well. But I can tell you from Micah, here's the teams that they brought up. This is according to CBS and Chris Sims and all that. Now Chris Sims is a terrible quarterback, and I'll say that every time opens his mouth on a show, I will always say he was a terrible quarterback. That image in my head in 2003 in the Cotton Bowl, right? Tell me why this man stood at the 2-yard line, your own 2-yard line, and threw a pass which got tipped and in return for a touchdown. That is the memory of the lifetime. And now I will remember that forever when I'm talking about Chris Sims, because Chris Sims was terrible. I can't stand him. I can't stand him now. I couldn't stand him 20 years ago. But anyways, they brought up the Patriots. Okay, the Patriots, playing the AFC East along with the Jets and the Bills. Hey, linebacker. Hey, immediate success. New coach. The Mike Vrabel won 20 games, won a title with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. So we'll see. Then they brought up the Titans. Okay, the Titans have Cam Ward. The Titans really think they're building something here, but they're really not. They brought up the Panthers. I'm not sure why you bring up bad teams. The Panthers are a bad franchise. I don't want him to go into a bad franchise. He makes him a lot better. The Browns. Why? Well, pair him along with Myles Garrett. Hey, you have to go for it. If you're going to pair Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons together, you got to go for it. And you got to give us 3 first-round picks for him. Then they said the Commanders. I'm like, why? I don't want him. Do you realize that if you put Micah on the field along with Von Miller and Bobby Wagner, do you realize that is an elite linebacker crew? Do you realize that? Do you realize that Bobby Wagner will lose minutes? He'll lose snaps, if Micah Parsons plays more than him? Do you realize that? I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of trading Micah Parsons. At the end of the day, he's still a Dallas Cowboy. At the end of the day, he's going to get paid. Whether they franchise tag him or give him the big payday, Micah has to step either or. Because without him, we're a bad defense at best. We're a bad defense at best. We'll be ranked the bottom of the last in the league. It's going to go bad anyways. We're going to probably go 3-14. I hate to say that, but I'm not going to listen. Let me get to the first preseason game, and then I'll tell y'all. Well, actually, let me get to the first 3, and then I'll tell y'all where the Cowboys stand at. But I know he's not going to play the first preseason game. This preseason game is about guys trying to make the team. So, Micah, my message to you is go get your money, man. Go get your money. I don't mind you sitting out practice. I don't mind you sitting out the games until that happens. You're making the Cowboys force your hand. Jerry eventually has to be serious. Jerry has to stop getting in the 80-year-old mindset and start putting emphasis on the team. The team first, fans second. We'll be fine either way. We'll still support the Cowboys. We'll still buy the gear. We'll still support Micah. But at the end of the day, our star linebacker needs to get paid. Period. Now, the first preseason game starts Saturday. So we'll watch out. We'll recap the first preseason game, and I'll give you some my feedback on it. I know Michael's not going to play, but hey, it is what it is. Now let's get to some college football. Now college football is on the way. College football starting in the next. Excuse me. College football is starting in the next 30. Well, not the next. We're less than 30 days away. The first game, August 30th. I almost said August 5th, but that's not the first game. um, so I wanted to talk about this last week. I wasn't here last week, but I wanted to send my shout out to Coach Prime. I know Coach Prime, had, one of his bladder cancers removed. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's smart. He's smart to get that stuff done. But either way it goes, like if he did it during the regular season, that's fine. He's going to get some rest. He's going to, do his things. I'm not sure about the Karushi Tran stuff. I'm not sure about that. Maybe she's just a friend. I'm not sure if they're dating or not. Maybe she's just a friend. And that friend was trying to support Coach Prime. And who cares if they're dating? Because, if they're dating, then that's fine. We got Bill Belichick dating a child. It's too much. So basically, that's what it is. It's just too much. so that's basically what it is. Karuchi Chan's 37, Deion's 57. So it's not as bad. And so I'm not sure. I'm not speculating. I guess she's crying because of her friend. Coach Prime's getting, got the surgery removed, and thank God that he's okay. Now, Shador, I like the fact that he told us that do not come to camp. Do not come to camp because hey, I got to get my reps in. I'm like bottom of this. I'm bottom of the depth chart. Okay, that's smart. Let Shador get up here. Let Shador be the starter for week 1, like I mentioned. I mentioned this in the summer. I said Shador should be the week 1 starter, which I seen the stats in practice. Again, it's practice. It's not the game, which, by the way, the game will start. We're going to see more Shador this weekend unless he plays. But we're talking about practice. We're not talking about the game. Like the game is different. The game speed is different than practice speed. Practice speed, you're not going. You're going at least 70 miles per hour. Game speed is like 110 plus. So that would tell me if he's ready to play or not. So, Coach Prime, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's ready for the season. Now, Coach Belichick, like I mentioned before, I have no respect. We're not comparing the situation to Shannon, but this is ridiculous. One of their players came out and said, "Hey, this is not a distraction. What are you smoking? That girl is the same age as you." Guys, do you not realize that? Most of those guys are the same age as that girl he's dating right now. And that girl is going to be at your games. watching her boyfriend potentially win games in college. And nobody has a problem with this but the outside world. North Carolina doesn't have a problem with it because they hired him. They kept him. The AD didn't have a problem. The president doesn't have a problem with it. The players don't have. Dude, what are y'all smoking at North Carolina? The quarterback didn't have a problem with it. Damn. Nobody has a problem with it. And you lie to us? Saying that, no, don't lie to me. I know this is a distraction for y'all. She is the same age as your players. Just imagine having her in the locker room. Wow. That's a conversation for days. But I pay no mind to North Carolina, like I tell you guys. I wish North Carolina would go 4-8 and not make a bowl game. And I know that's harsh. I know Belichick is a great coach, but I can't accept this. This is unacceptable, and he should cut this off. This is disgusting, and it'll be on my mind for the rest of the season. You realize that if North Carolina loses, you realize they won't show their games, right? So, but let's get to Kenny Dillingham's wild quotes. Now, Kenny is a realist. We need more realist coaches in this game because these coaches are not coaches anymore. I feel like they don't say real things not to piss off the kids or their parents. That's not manlyhood. Sometimes you have to challenge the man to be great. Ooh, that's a quote. I don't know who said that. I don't know who said that, but I'm just trying to. I just need man. No, I just need no pause. I'm not like that. I need men to be men. To accept the challenges. To accept going 3-9. Okay, you go 3-9 at what? Kansas State, Arizona State, 6-6. It's not the end of the world. 3-9 is not the end of the world. I mean, unless you're a senior, yeah, because it's the end of your college career. But 3-9 football team means that there was injuries, or there was poor quarterback play, or it could be all of the above. Bad defense, bad coaching. Like I said, it'll be a variety of things. But let's play a clip from Kenny Dillinghan, please. This is the Arizona State head coach.
Yeah, we got to be better. I mean, like I said, our offense in general, too many drops on offense as a group. It was a bad day. I mean, it was a really, really bad day on offense. And it all stems from passion we play with. Is it okay to not make a play? And if you accept it, then you accept it. And that's who you're going to be. Don't be mad going 5-7. It's okay. Don't be mad going 6-6. Don't be mad going 3-9 because somebody has to go those records. There's going to be tons of teams who do it. Why not us? We didn't practice bad. What I mean by that is, like, we didn't bust. We didn't MA. We threw one pick. Like, we didn't practice bad. We didn't practice with passion. We didn't care if we scored a touchdown. We didn't care if there was an interception, right? We didn't care if somebody made a great play for most of practice. We were just out here practicing. And to me, the best teams, it matters all the time. You want to win everything. And today we didn't have that mindset. We didn't want to win. We wanted to practice. And those are two different mindsets to me. Right? Good practice of complacency.
Okay, so you heard from Kenny Dillinghan. He's right. He's absolutely right, which is why Arizona State will always win. You got to once you put it in practice, translate to the game. If you put in 110% in practice, the game itself will translate to that. You gotta put great practices together every single day. Like my North Texas, they gone 6-6, and I'm like, okay, what's going to be any different? How's the practice going to be? What's the energy level? They say we had a great practice. We were hurt. I'm like, okay, that's the same excuses that everybody makes. Okay? We need to stop making excuses of being hurt and accept the fact that we suck. We didn't have a practice. We didn't have a great practice. Like I said, you practice hard, it translates to the game. North Texas, to me, had so-and-so practices, which is why they went 6-6. They haven't won it. I haven't seen a championship. I don't have a championship ring. I haven't seen it in football. Your practices have to be better. Your game has to be excellent so that you execute both on offense and defense. Because this is a make or break year for North Texas. I think that we got to move on from the coach. That's my ordeal. We got to move on from the coach. I don't care what he does outside the community. That's great. But we got to win football games. That's the whole process. Everybody's got a job at the end of the day to win football games and to reach that next level. So we'll see. I just want to bring that up because I know a lot of teams will go 3-9. I know a lot of teams will go 6-6. I know a lot of teams will do their best to be in the top 100. So not the top 100, in the top 25 to get to the bowl games that they're supposed to get to. So we'll see what happens. Now, coming up next, we got a full WNBA stuff. People throwing dildos on the court. My goodness. We got to talk about that. And also, we got to talk about Fee Collard. I'm wearing her shirt today. This is Nafisa Collard. Nafisa Collard is the MVP, not Caitlin Clark. Nafisa Collard is the MVP. So I'll say this again. Nafisa Collard is the MVP of the WNBA, and so we need to talk about her next, and then we'll talk about the trade, and then we'll go from there. All right, thank you. All right, we'll be back. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Bottle, always halfway filled to the brim. Lately, it's been the problem. I'm down in every last drop of the fifth. Finding my ways, but losing myself. Quicker I climb, faster I feel. It's been a hell of a ride. Only it's right through hell. I'm too good for the bad one, but ain't no good for the good one either. Think I made it this time, just to be drugged right back to the ring. I've been bold, lost and alone. Hate these highs come with these lows. Not too much and not too little. Just find myself stuck in. I swear the man in the mirror, he ain't the same one that I've been. I wish the path was clearer. 'cause these crossroads never seem to end. They always say the time's gonna tell. Guess I'll leave it to the man himself. It's been a hell of a ride. Only it's right through hell. I'm too good for the bad ones, but ain't no good for the good ones neither. Think I made it this time, just to be drugged right back through the ring. I've been broke, lost and alone. Hate these eyes come with these lows. Not too much and not too little. Just find myself stuck in. Stuck in the middle.
So, Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. So we got breaking news. This is from Instagram. I was trying to find it on ESPN. I can't find it on ESPN. I can't find it on what's it called? I can't find it on Facebook. I found it on Instagram, and I found out that Brittany Sykes is in Seattle now. Now, okay, this is like from 6 minutes ago, so hopefully by the end of this show, we'll know more. We'll know more of why this trade happened for Washington. Because I made a trade list in the WNBA, and I'm not sure why Brittany Sykes gets traded from Washington to Seattle. Which, by the way, Seattle is a good team now. Well, they're even better. Sorry, they're even better now. I guess they weren't happy. I guess they want to buy their guards some rest. So you bring in a veteran that wants to win now, and Brittany Sykes wants to win now. So I don't know how true this is. It's Instagram, but it is what it is. Now we get to the drama in the WNBA. I'm sorry I wasn't here last week. But the drama started with the dildos. There was two of them that were throwing in the game. One that was throwing in Atlanta was the Valkyries in the Dream game. That person, do you know who that person is? His name is Gilbert Carver. Gilbert Carver is 23 years old. I don't know where he works or does. But he was the one that carried a dildo inside the arena. Out of all places, a dildo. And throws it on the court during the live action play. And people, the officials say, we're just going to play on. But wait a minute. Something gets thrown on the court. You got to stop play to get it off the court. So, I never seen a green dildo before. I'm not touching it. And thank God men never touch that. So, if I'm a worker, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys, man. I'm sorry that it's your duty to pick up someone's nasty junk and then you gotta throw it out throw it in the garbage. That's not in your job description. But my thing is, why is it that we're saying free Dilbert? Dilbert's an idiot. Dilbert should be banned for life for arenas. Now, this is the announcers here. So let's address the announcers, and then let's dive more into this Dilbert fool. So let's play the clip of the dildo, please.
And 8 assists to add. Hayes gets blocked by Maya Caldwell. Something flies on the court, actually, from the crowd. The officials will say they will continue play as that goes off the fingertips of the Valkyries. But that needs to be addressed.
Well, let's go back to the block, though. Hayes thinks she has the clean shot, and Maya Caldwell just comes over and saves the possession. Excellent defense from Caldwell, and that's her job. That normally, Jordan Canada didn't know something flew on the court. She's being told right now.
That's the first one, and then the second one happened
That
in Chicago.
is a first.
Yeah.
And the object is still down on the floor. That was launched.
Please be advised that anybody engaging in any disruptive behavior, such as fighting, throwing objects, attempting to enter the court or play or using improper language or gestures are subject to ejection and arrest.
So for the Valkyries to actually play through that, I was shocked that that wasn't picked up earlier, but they played through it.
And you can see the object, the block right there. The object comes, that green thing bounces, and it goes to the sideline. We're not exactly we're not sure where it came from. But to my knowledge, it's still underneath the seat. I'm looking right at it. Why it would have been launched, I do not know, but they got to get that person up out of here now.
And security is on the way.
We don't play that.
There is no room for that ever. And the most important thing when you come to see your favorite W players take the floor is keeping them safe. And there is just absolutely no room for any of that type of activity.
Yeah, and no one.
Angel Gray and Tabitha Turner in Atlanta. Now, Gilbert, you're an idiot. Okay? These Republicans are saying free Gilbert because they don't support the WNBA. They're like, we love Caitlin Clark. We're tired of her getting abused. She's not getting abused. So, but we don't like it that you interfere with what's the action or what's the play of action. But here's the thing. Here's what they said. He got arrested. I think it was Sunday. He got arrested on Sunday, and he got charged with all these counts and all that stuff. Probably get jail time or probation, whatever he gets. But what an awkward name, first of all, and then second of all, I don't know how you get a job through this. All these things are felony related. I'm not a lawyer or anything. I just see how it is. And also, I'm very upset at the league. I'm upset at the league because the league says, hey, if this happens, we're going to ban you for one year from our arena. So this idiot or anybody else can come back and do this again in another year or so. In 2 years. He already said he's going to do it again. Dude, do you realize in the NBA, you run on the court, that's permanent for life? Same with the NFL, you're in prison. Same with MLB, you're in prison. The WNBA was like, nah, man, we're going to suspend you for a year. You can come back in 2027. What type of nonsense is that? This is why there's no respect in the league. Because respect means laying down the law. You lay down the law, nobody else does the same bullcrap this fool did. It's happened twice. And the other person's like, oh, in Chicago, is like, oh, we can't find anybody. So that person who do another dildo on the court in Chicago, you can't find that person, but yeah, you were able to find a person in Atlanta, though. Chicago said this is not even the case. But yeah, if somebody like Angel Reese got hit by that, which, by the way, she wasn't playing, or anybody else that got hit by the dildo, then there'll be lawsuits for days. Now, what else is being thrown on the court? I'm sorry, not. I mean, the messages are wrong. Sophie Cunningham went on and said, "Hey, I think she said like, we're tired of you're gonna hurt one of us." Sophie, do you realize that you just made every man happy when you said those things? You just made every man happy when you said what you said. Like come on, man. Like you gotta stop saying those things. You gotta stop saying those. You find another acronym to say those things. I knew what you meant, but you made every man's world happy. You did. Because of your antics. Of what you said. Now, the league has done nothing to stop this. The league will make the stupid statement, which they did. The league said, oh, by the way, you can come back in 2027. Like, the league doesn't have enough fans, bro. The league doesn't, listen, you can kick out 20 fans and you'll still have more fans than most. Gilbert can go home and talk to his friends about it, and more of his friends would do the same thing in 2027 with no repercussions. Enjoy that orange jumpsuit, Dylan. I'm sorry, not Dylan. Gilbert. Now, do you know, let me give you 5 things that the WNBA should do. And then let's get to this hair incident with Kalia Copper. So number 1, you should name them out like Atlanta did. They named Gilbert Carver. That's a weird name. You would think it's an old person's name, but it's like a 23-year-old man. They need better arena security. Now, I'm not sure how you get a sex object inside the gates. You know, for the longest time, you're never to bring a bag inside the arena because there might be a gun in there and all that stuff. Okay, I don't know how much the arena security gets paid. Maybe they're short guys and girls, but that needs to be addressed as well. Immediate ban for life. You gotta ban players. I'm sorry, not ban players. You gotta ban fans for life if they continue to this behavior. And then Kalia Copper's hair situation. So Kalia Copper the wig fell off. Okay. This was during the game last week. I saw this game live. Well, actually, I saw it on a replay. And it fell off on a possession that you're coming off the screen. You're trying to get over the screen, and apparently it came off. So I listen. If ladies, I never seen that before. I never to think that ladies, whether they're playing soccer or football or basketball or softball for that matter, would to think that, hey, I'm wearing a wig to play the game. I never seen that before. I know it was embarrassing for Kalia because that happened. And I was watching a podcast that they were making fun of. And I know Adam Carolla, whatever his name is. He plays a deaf guy on Family Guy. He was talking about players of our kind that whenever we wear dreadlocks, we have to tuck them in our jersey, or if we wear our hairpins, we tuck them in our jersey. And he's not talking about no white person. Not talking about Caitlin Clark. They're not talking about anybody else. They're not talking about Paige Beckers. They're talking about any white woman was long hair. wear was one of those bands to keep it will wear a ponytail. They talk about us. Dreadlocks, keep them in your jersey. Hair, women, don't wear your hairpiece as the main thing because it will fall out during the game. I never seen that rule before. I mean, I didn't even look it up because I don't think it's a rule. I just think it was unfortunate for her to happen like that, and I'm pretty sure she's embarrassed. And that fan was ejected from that arena. And I remember the announcers were laughing about it, and it's no laughing matter. You know, you never want to see that happen to you. So I don't think it was funny. But my last thing is, what's next? Lubricant. You know, they throw lubricant on the court because the statement. I'm not going to even give you the definition of why that dildo was thrown on the court. We all know why it was thrown on the court. At least some know. But if they throw lubricant on the court, what happens, right? Someone sprains their knee, someone sprains an ankle. The worst case scenario, someone tears an ACL. The other worst case scenario is torn Achilles. Okay? You don't ever listen, the WNBA needs to do better. The corporation needs to do better. They need to stop taking money out of people's pockets and make the league better than ever because it's not great right now. It's not great right now. There's a lot of problems. And those a lot of problems will turn into more problems if you don't fix them right now. If you don't fix the arena situation right now, it's going to turn into problems moving forward. If you don't tell players to play hard, well, not to play hard, but like, you know, the hair situation, unless I don't care, then it is what it is. So, Gilbert, you're an idiot, and enjoy prison time. Number 2, the WNBA trade and players sign and release. Minnesota, we traded DJ Carrington. I'm so mad. DJ Carrington is one of my favorite players on the Dallas Wings. They traded her to Minnesota we get Diamond Miller and we get Carly Samuelson, which she was waived as of yesterday due to her injured foot. Now, Diamond Miller can do a lot of things. Diamond Miller, when she plays hard. Okay, this is a player that will get the same amount of minutes that she was getting in Minnesota. I only say this because of Haley Jones. Haley Jones has played well. I think Haley Jones will have a long-term roster on the Dallas Wings. She found it. It's just Haley Jones is in the way of that. That's why I said Diamond Miller won't get the enough minutes. Maybe I should just reiterate that online when I said it, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Diamond Miller comes in here and provides a spark. Minnesota won this trade because they needed a 2 or 3 defender. Now, Nafisa Caller, my MVP, went down. She went down on Saturday because of ankle injury, which they were up by 43 points. And thank God they made this trade because I know DJ's not a scorer, but DJ can score a little bit. She just needs to. She's a floor spreader, so she needed to be where she's comfortable on the court on offense. Defensively, all out. She can defend for days. Take away your best player for days. Just imagine if Caitlin Clark played today. Do you realize Caitlin Clark would go 2 for 10 with 9 turnovers? being guarded by one of the best defenders in the game. And people like this man to my right will say, foul, foul, foul. My curl's getting hammered. Nope. That's called good defense. So Minnesota won this trade. I'm again, the future's not bright in Dallas. They got coaching issues. This is not a player issue, it's coaching issues. The Sparks went ahead and signed Alyssa Peely. You know, Alyssa Peely is connected to her former coach in Lynn Roberts. I'm not sure what type of playing time she's going to get. You know, I know Cam Brink is coming back from a major knee injury, so I'm not sure what type of where Alyssa fits in that role. And then there's players on my trade list. I got 5 of them. So I could easily say that Marina Mayberry may be traded still. Maisha Hayes Allen could be another one. Kate Martin, which I wrote a report yesterday on, could be traded on. Was Kate Martin? I do think that she needs a team that nobody knows her. Like we get so accustomed to seeing our favorite players. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to see our favorite players. My favorite player is Nafisa Collar. Well, there's a lot of them. I like Asia Wilson as well. I like I like Paige Beckers as well. So there's a lot of favorite players I like. But Kate Martin is one of the kind. And I know fans love her because of what she does, not even on the court. They love her because she has fans. But I feel like the role in the Valkyries is not a good fit right now. I know Kayla Dorton went down. They went ahead and signed Kalia Charles. I think Kalia Charles is going to get more playing time than Kate Martin will be because Kalia Charles can score for days and she can play a little bit of defense. And so, I mean, she can stay on the team, but again, you're going to see her role continually to decrease. And as a young player, that's adversity. Adversity is going to hit you. Leah Edwards is another one. I'm very surprised that they went ahead and traded Brittany Sykes. I know I saw on Instagram. I know there's going to be a full-fledged report on there today. Well, actually, in the next few minutes, if we get to the next video, I'm going to look more into that trade because I do think that Seattle won this trade. Then you got, but Leah Edwards, you know, the team is heavy stacked at post, so you gotta understand where she fits at. And then Elizabeth Williams. Now, even though Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese are there as your main players, even Angel Reese is your main player, but Elizabeth Williams, you add her on your team. She's instant. She's an instant offense, instant go getter. I think the Aces will be a great fit for Elizabeth Williams. They need depth at the front line. So, Asia Wilson gives you great minutes. Asia Wilson needs those minutes to rest. Megan Gufferson hasn't given you much. I just think she's awkward well, not awkward looking, but she hasn't given you much. Add Elizabeth Williams, she gives you a lot. I think she's better than both Gufferson and Stokes combined. I don't see Stokes as a player anymore. I see Stokes as a what you call it? As riding the bench sometimes, taking somebody's opportunity away. And so they could have easily released Kalia Stokes. But they're not going to because Becky Hammond says, "Hey, Khalil Stokes has good genes on this team," which to me it doesn't make sense because you got to have a good second group. Your second group is not good right now. I'm talking about the Aces. Your second group is not good right now. You're having to rely heavily on Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, not even Drew Lloyd, Kristen Bell, Asia Wilson, Nalissa Smith, which Nalissa Smith has played well. We're seeing the Baylor, Nalissa Smith on the Aces. And yeah, I just feel like Elizabeth Williams to the Aces sounds like a good deal. And honestly, I'll give my first round, second round pick away. I don't think the Aces will need it they don't. I don't think they need the first round pick in the second in the 2026 and 2027 draft. I don't think they need it. I think save it for 2028. So we'll see what happens. Excuse me. Number 3, the Dallas Wings making moves. Now the Wings, they lost again. Friday night was Friday night. It's just the loser keeps piling up. The frustration keeps piling up. Again, you traded for Diamond Miller and Carly Samuelson, which Carly Samuelson was released. You got 2 second round picks in 2027, so that's another thing to think about. You got 5 games this week, both was the Liberty, and then you got the Mystics, and then you got the Fever, and then you got the Sparks. So they're 8-21 right now. They could easily lose all 5 of those games and go 8-26, which they could be out of the playoffs by this time next week. And so I just don't know what's the point of going to the Dallas Wings game. They're not going to fight for anything. The team did release Terry McCowan on Sunday. I don't know where Terry McCowan is going to play, but that's an interesting free agent out there. All right, and number 4, let's talk about the race for the 8th. Okay? But first, wait a minute. We got breaking news. Let's talk about the Connecticut Sun real quick. So let's play the clip of the Connecticut Sun moving to Boston, please.
Boston bound. Hi, my name is Amaka Ubaka. I work as an anchor here at 7 News in Boston. I'm joined by our sports reporter, Marley Weirda. Okay, so break it all down for us.
Well, as early as 2027, we could see a WNBA team here in Boston. It's not going to be a new team. The goal is to bring the Connecticut Sun to Boston. Steve Paliuca and his group have agreed to purchase the team with the ultimate goal to move it here.
And this is a record deal, $325 million on the table.
Yes, and that just speaks volumes to where the WNBA is at right now. People are investing in the league. They're investing in women's sports. And I think Boston fans, we know how the city is. They love their sports. I think they would also love to see a WNBA team here.
All right, but it's not a done deal quite yet.
Nope, it still has to be approved by the WNBA and its board of governors. So once that happens, we'll see where it goes.
Wow. This is a Connecticut Sun team that has sucked this year. If I'm Jennifer Azadi, my first instinct is yes, 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 and may I say again, yes. Let's go to Boston for 2026 and beyond. I just can't fathom that Boston will be the city for the Connecticut Sun. Now Boston has both, the NBA team and the WNBA team. The Boston Sun, that's a weird team. Can you call them the Boston Sun? So but then again, it has to be approved by, obviously the board of governors, which that shouldn't be hard to do. I think it'll be the automatic yes, yeah. You know, the majority owner of the Celtics paid for it, so that's what the WNBA wants. As long as it's not coming out of their pockets, they'll be fine. The WNBA will be fine. You know, somebody else is paying for it, so they allow that person to pay for it and see what happens. Now, now we get to the race for the eighth because I want to see this. I want to say that the Aces, the Valkyries, the Mystics, and the Sparks are fighting for the eighth spot. Now, as I look through this computer here, I'm looking for the team that will make noise. A team that would say, you know what, we're good enough to win. We're good enough for the eighth spot. Only 8 teams make the playoffs. So we start with the Valkyries. The Valkyries went 3-1 on their road trip. Um, here's the breaking news now. So they went 3-1 on their road trip, on their program road trip. The blowout loss was in Las Vegas, which the Aces were coming off a 53-point loss to the Minnesota Lynx on Saturday. So you knew that they were going to come out and play hard. Um, excuse me. They needed a 3 and a 4. Uh, the Valkyries needed a 3 and a 4 on the roster. Like I mentioned, I know Kate Martin is great. She's needed, but at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, the Aces, the Aces, not the Aces, the Valkyries, um, they're the due diligence of going 3-1 on this road trip, and to have a 14-14 record, a 500 record at this time is good for them. And the next stretch of games will be proven different for them. So we'll see. Now the Aces, I talked about their poor bench play. They got beat by 53 points in Minnesota on Saturday. Um, AJ Wilson was saying, "Hey, if you can't come to work and to compromise, if you're embarrassed by that loss, you shouldn't be coming to work." And I agree with her 110%. You cannot come to work like that. You can't come to work and have a bad day. You just, well, actually you can't. Well, you can't come to work and think about what happened yesterday. It's just a bad day. It's just a really bad day for all. And so the Aces need an improved bench. They need a small forward and a hardship player. So the Aces are not prone to add hardship players. I mean, there's a lot of hardship players out there, um, but they need some defense. Kate Martin fits that role. Um, you know who else fits that role? Leah Edwards, young player who fits that role. Um, let's see. A hardship player is nice. You just need to. Sorry guys, I'm yawning so much. So you just need a player that comes in and can just show something to the Aces. Now the Mystics. The Mystics. Here's the breaking news here. The Mystics are trading Brittany Sykes to the Storm. The deal sends Alicia Clark as Seattle's 2026 first-round pick to Washington. Now, Zaire Cook went from the Storm to the Mystics in the deal, but is gone. Sika Coleman is gone. Wow. Wow. Clark, Alicia Clark, the veteran you know, who has struggled, gets traded. And now Brittany Sykes gets a guard. You know, seeing that Cohen comes in the trade, Silka Cohen can provide something. Not a whole lot though. She can't provide a whole lot though. So it's just one of those things. You know, the Seattle won this trade. So I'll say that they got another guard on the team. The guard should fit with their offense. Brittany Sykes can play the 2 and the 3 or the 1 for that matter. So 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 yeah. So Alicia Clark, my girl, gets traded to Washington, which I'm not sure if she's going to stay in Washington. We'll see. But I'm hoping that you know Washington gets a veteran that can really play, that can really set the standard for these young players. You know, you got Sonia Cintron, you got what's his name, Kiki Efren. You know, those are your main corner pieces. It is what it is. Team wanted to focus on Jan Milborn. The future's bright in Washington. You know, the rebuild is still in its process, but it's not all the way complete. And then you got the Sparks. The Sparks are 12 and 15. Rakia Jackson, 27 points and 9 rebounds on Friday night. They got to keep the turnovers down. Cam Brink is trying to get into better shape. Now, this is a stretch for the Sparks. The Sparks, I believe they have won 5 straight. I honestly can believe that they have won 5 straight. I can look it up right now. Because the Sparks are making their runs right now. They got a good group. The Sparks have got a really good group that can make the playoffs. So that remains to be seen. And then number 5. They got some podcasts for days. Here is the WNBA's status. Status as far as the podcast goes. They won 5 straight. Okay, they lost one. Okay, they lost one game. I'm not sure what game they lost, but they lost one game. Now, the Fever have won 5 straight. You know, that's something to be celebrated about. All without Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has missed 7 straight games, was an injury growing. If you look at the videos online, you know, her jumping over teammates and her dancing and all that stuff, you can really tell she's not hurt. But I digress. If society says she's hurt, she's hurt. So what's working? Why the Fever won 5 straight? Caitlin Clark, again, has missed 7 straight games. Chloe Beebe signs for the rest of the season. The Fever needed a pick and pop player. Chloe Beebe is that. here's Sophie Cunningham. Now, Sophie Cunningham has signed a bunch of deals lately, including this podcast that she's doing. And we need to discuss her podcast because her podcast didn't get off to a great start. So let's hear her podcast, please. This is Sophie Cunningham.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as
You guys played at Iowa. Were you there for that game?
Yeah.
Was that a preseason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played against Brazil. Oh, we should go to Brazil.
All right, so you heard the foolishness that Sophie Cunningham was giving you, okay? Now, Caitlin Clark is not the face of the league. I can easily say that. Every team has a good player on it. Nafisa, Asia. Asia Wilson should be the face of the league. She's won 2 championships. 2. What has Caitlin Clark done? Nothing. She's done absolutely nothing to be the face of the league. Does she have a ring? And y'all saying that she be the face of the league because of what? You never seen of what? Where's the championships? Where's the MVP trophies? Where's the coaching? She hasn't played in 3 weeks. Everybody's saying the face of the league is there. Yeah, oh, yeah, she's trying to fight. She's done this. No. They could have done that 20 years ago. Why are they doing it now? Call me dumb as shit. You're dumb. You're the one that wanted to go to Indiana from Phoenix. Because your value wasn't in Phoenix. And when you get to Indiana, now you have a voice. Because before, you didn't have one in Phoenix. I'm dumb as shit. You're the one. Do you not care about a championship? AJ has won 2. Nafisa's about to get an MVP trophy. Breanna Stewart has won a championship and a bunch of MVP awards. How come her name is not there? You talk about I'm dumb as shit. You're the one that wanted to jump ship. You're the one that said, you know what? I can't win at Phoenix. I'd rather go play with Caitlin Clark. Can I win in Indiana? No. Indiana can't win a championship. Indiana can't beat the Sparks to save their lives. And now everybody's riding Caitlin Clark's coattails and saying, you know what? Caitlin's the face of the league. She's going to be all right. She's getting murdered every play. Bull honky. Bullshit. Okay? Everybody's getting beaten up. Everybody. Not just Caitlin Clark. Everybody. And no, she's not the face of the league. We got a lot of women who could be that face. And we got other women that can come in and take over for Caitlin Clark. They can take over for Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is averaging a double-double. And if to my knowledge, she's on a double-double winning streak, but yet nobody supports her because of what? The only time they support her is shaking her ass and wearing clothing, I guess. I don't know. But nobody says anything about Angel Reese. Nobody says anything about Nafisa Color. I wore this shirt today because I want to remind people that Nafisa Color it could be the face of the league one day. She is my MVP. And then last but finally, Aaliyah Boston being foolish. You know, they got her and Candace Party, they got a podcast called Post Moves. It's a really good I heard a clip of it. I think it's a good podcast. Aaliyah's too gullible. She's very gullible. So let's play a clip from Aaliyah from that podcast, please.
All cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star game.
No. Here's the thing. We come out every single night and we show why we deserve the money we deserve. An All-Star game where when we have another game in 2 days, I think that is okay to just go out there and hoop and have some fun. Because on Tuesday, we were back at it and we were playing and we were showing once again why we deserve to get paid.
I think on one of the biggest stages with people tuned in an all-star setting that was invested in more than any other all-star game previously without Caitlin Clark, right? She was not playing. I think it was an opportunity to really go out there, and it was an added opportunity. It's not going to subtract anything, but I think the narrative on Monday would have been, well, how come the guys don't play in the All-Star game? How come these ladies come out there and they hoop and they understand their responsibility? Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for I was like, I can't. I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to. But I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does make sense. But live, laugh, and love.
Okay, so you heard from Candace Parker and Leah Boston. I agree with Candace Parker 100%. You can't play an All-Star game like that. You ruin the sponsorships. I know that the WNBA has been dying for money, but you ruin the sponsorships by playing like that. You know, I criticize the guys for playing like that, for playing in the All-Star game like that. I know some of the guys don't care. I know LeBron wants to go to Mexico. He's not able to do that. He actually exercised that week break. So, hey, he's playing the All-Star game again. He can go to Mexico and spend time with his family there. So, but in the WNBA, when if you say to me that the game starts in a week, this year all the games were done on Wednesday, right? No games on Thursday. Friday and Saturday you had the facilities, and then Monday you rest. Well, actually Sunday you rest, and then Monday you get back at it. Tuesday you play it again. Now Leah Boston makes a good point. I agree with her when she said this. Maybe you take the NBA route and say, hey, let's make the WNBA go back to its regular games in a week. Like on Wednesday, for example, right? I think an extra day will help the players. The players that participate in the All-Star game. Listen, I don't mind playing the All-Star game on Saturday. As a matter of fact, I wish the NBA did this. We don't need 3 days to have all the facilities. I think it's too long, and it gets boring. To me, It gets boring to me because you got because on Saturday night you got the 3-point contest, you got the slam dunk contest, which that needs to be eliminated because most of these guys are not dunking anymore. And then you got the skills challenge, and God knows what else you have. But also you got the rookies and the celebrities play on Fridays. So if I were them, I think the NBA should adopt this. I think the NBA should play us all-star games on a Saturday. Get it done on Saturday so that the players can have Sunday through Thursday off. Like let's figure this out because I know the WNBA. I think I will add an extra day. I wouldn't go back. We see we're going back to the old days. The old days of me, the old days. I grew up where you play the All-Star game on a Saturday or Sunday night. You go back to the games on Tuesday. You take Monday off. You go back to the games on Tuesdays and on. In the WNBA, they're like, okay, let's go back to the games on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. I think it's fair to say that hey, some of those players can get a week off, deserve a week off, but players that participate in the All-Star game, at least an extra day, get back to their teams respectfully, and then get back to the games on a Wednesday and on. So I agree with her. However, the effort needs to change, and that's where I draw the line. I'll draw the line in the sand because you're going to kill sponsorships with the type of effort that you're giving them. You deserve the money, yes. The shirts, yes. Not in that setting though. You're going to scare people off. When you're in that setting, you're going to scare a lot of people off when you're doing that. And I told you, and I said this 3 weeks ago. I said I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of the shirts. I'm not a fan of the signs, man. Like this could have been outside of the arena. Take it outside of the arena. Put it in the meetings that you guys had. Don't do it on the court where like 50 million people have to see your message and at least half or like less than a half people agree with it. To me, I thought it was an embarrassment. I thought I didn't want to watch the All-Star game anymore. I never want to because I thought it was an embarrassment. But also, I understand where they're coming from. I understand that being paid is great. I want to see players get the 3 million range. Fabulous. So that they don't have to go to overseas. They don't have to push their bodies to the limit. The only time they go overseas is to represent their teams, their country's teams for the Olympics. I know that interferes. There's a lot of things that interfere with these things. It's hard to adjust. I think both parties are trying to do due diligence. I think they're trying, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to try these things, man. It's hard. I listen. There's a lot of scenarios that you can go with. There's a lot. I don't know what those scenarios are. I really don't know, but I hope that the CBA and its players, the owners and its players, sit down, have a constructive meeting, and make it a better environment for all involved. The owners want this. The players want this. Let's bring this together. Now, the owners have to challenge the players, hey, we can't have another All-Star game like this. Because if we have another All-Star game like this, we're going to turn it off. We're going to lose sponsors. We're going to lose sponsors. The players have to challenge the owners. The players want more money. Okay, great. It's up to the owners to throw out their bag and say, let's sponsor more women type products. Let's sponsor Gatorade. Let's put more of Nafisa and Gatorade commercials. Let's put more of, Paige Becker's in commercials, or Asper James or stuff like that in the local commercials. Let's do those things. And then you'll see your return on investment. Don't get me wrong, the WNBA is not it's not awful. The play is not awful. The play's got a lot better. It's just the owners have to challenge the players. The players have to challenge the owners of what they want. The owners want this. The players have to challenge. The owners have to challenge the players. The players want this. The players want to challenge the owners. I'm not a business person. I just want to see the league continue its success. You got a new team in Golden State. You got 2 new teams coming in. If you shut it down now, all will be lost. All will be lost. Better yet, you got 3 more teams coming in the next, 2028, 2029, 2030. You got a team in Philly, you got a team in Detroit, and you got a team in Cleveland coming. So the return of investment, if you log out, you're going to lose a bunch of money. I don't like when players go on podcasts and say, hey, we need, we're not going to play for the bat. We're not going to play if we don't get this. I just don't think Andrew Reese is, for example, is one of them. That's why I don't agree with this. I agree with her overall game and what she stands for, but I don't agree with her saying, I'm not going to play for broke. Angel, you realize that you have a bunch of sponsorships. You realize you had a meal after your name that people bought. You realize that you are not broke. You are good. You are good to go, man. You're fine. It's just we got to put you in the $300 million range. Shea Gilgeous is making almost that much. Jason Tatum's making 300 plus. Luka Doncic, congratulations to his contract, could make $400 billion in the next 3 years. If I'm doing the math correctly, if I saw that stat correctly, if I didn't, then I'm wrong. So we need to see that progress grow. Now, I also want the CBA to take care of the retired players. Okay? Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, the list goes on. I want them taken care of as well. Okay? They're the ones that built this league. They're the ones that kept it running. They didn't see a dime. Okay? And what I mean a dime is like they didn't see $100 million. They didn't see NIL deal in college. They didn't see that. I want them taken care of. Seriously. Take care of the retired players. I know they're taken care of, but I want more of them to be taken care of. Role players included. The league is not built by Caitlin Clark. The league is built by the players itself. Not just one person. Let's get that right. Now, next week, let's recap the Cowboys game. The Cowboys playing the Rams on Saturday night. So let's recap it. And then let's talk about some college football. Well, actually, let's talk about Shador's debut. Did he make a debut? Did he not? And then let's talk about more WNBA stuff. Let's talk about the stretch run. And we got more. And then we got more eighth teams. Let's analyze all the games from today till next week. So it's going to be a great WNBA games coming up next week on to the rest of the month into September. So let's get it. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast at, and I'll see y'all next week. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.